my 6 rules for troubleshooting. Again, this is my own opinion based on my experience. So you might have your own rules or your own guidance. Even the CCIE program, they provide the guidance in Cisco Live presentation, how to do troubleshooting. Okay, it's up to you. It's just probably an input. Okay, but this is mine. Someday write your own rules and share it. The first rule for my rule: don't get intimidated. I mean, if you look at the topology of the troubleshooting, and let's say you never seen that kind of topology before, okay, you might get a bit intimidated. You feel panic because wow, look at the topology. Same thing in the real life when you go to the customer and customer tell you, okay, the whole internet is down and there are 100,000 subscriber affected. Okay, most people will get intimidated and start panicking, and you will lose half of your capabilities to do troubleshooting. So that's my first rule: don't get intimidated, regardless, either for the CCIE lab or for the actual network. I know it's $1,400 before tax for the CCIE lab. I know it's 12 minutes per question. Okay, I know you need to pass 80% for troubleshooting. Okay, but keep thinking about it. Will not help you. Keep thinking about how much money you spend, how much time you have spent to prepare. Will not help you. So better yet to be in the moment and to be ready to do the troubleshooting. Okay, so that's my first rule. My second rule is understand the symptom. In real world, usually you get a call from the customer and it's just him yelling on the other side of the phone, okay, the whole internet is down or the whole network is down. But does it really happen? I mean, is it really the whole internet down, or just certain part of the network? Okay, so it's very important to understand the symptom. It's very understand not to be panic and then start asking questions to the customer to understand the symptom. For CCIE lab, they already make it easy for you. They give you the symptom. For example, as you can see, R15 cannot telnet R11 loopback 0. It's very clear. In different question, probably user A cannot ping user B, for example. Okay, it's very clear and precise. You just need to start doing troubleshooting. I'm assuming that drawing the diagram. No, the drawing the diagram is for the configuration, not for the troubleshooting. You're right, it's 12 minutes per ticket, so you should not waste your time. But for the configuration, because you need to put OSPF or MPLS or BGP, if you redraw the topology, you will be more familiar. And some people like me, I'm not comfortable to look at multiple topology on my screen at the same time. I need to type. So it's up to you. Is troubleshooting all about A cannot ping B? No. I give you one example, and that's the sample question. Like R15 cannot telnet R11 loopback 0, so it's not about pinging only. Okay, my third rule is you must know how it works. I mean, if you don't know how it works, how can you troubleshoot? As simple as that. So some people put the comment, yes, that's why they need to put more portion of troubleshooting. Because if you can troubleshoot, it means you already understand, yes, to a certain extent. But definitely, yes, you need to know how the technology works. Before you can do troubleshooting. My rule number 4 is to isolate the issue. If you are given the symptom that R15 cannot telnet R11, and the good thing is the part of the network will be highlighted on the web interface. Okay, you need to start looking at the issue. You need to start to isolate it. Okay, you see the source, which is R15, and destination is R11, and in between you see there is a BGP routing. Okay, you can start thinking about the possible issues in this before you go in detail. Okay, one issue per question, or there can be more than one issue. Yeah, if there is more than one fault in the question, they will tell you. Uh, it's gonna be written in the questions. Okay, so 10 questions. So I think 8 will be one fault per question, and 2 will be two faults per question. But they will tell you exactly. And my fifth rule is to work from the destination. I remember when I was CCNA, somebody told me to do the troubleshooting. You need to do it from physical layer and then go up to the upper layer, network layer, and so on until you reach the application layer. Okay, it's a good advice, I know, but for CCIE routing switching, remember you have to do it. You have to finish it in 2 hours. It means one issue per 12 minutes, so you need to do it as fast as possible. For me, the way I did it is when I was told cannot ping R15, cannot telnet R11 loopback. The first thing I did, I visit R12 and check if I can telnet from R12. If it works fine from R12, then I move further from the destination, which is R13. Okay, if I can telnet from R12, but I cannot telnet from R13, it means the problem lies somewhere between R12 and R13. Then I start doing the pinging and then see the routing table. And then if everything is fine from the routing table, but I cannot ping, then I check if there is any features like SEL or the TOS MQC to filter and so on. But that's how I did it. And during the alpha testing for the troubleshooting, the first time I did it, it took me 2 hours, and according to Bruno, I got 100%. But for the second one, I did it in only 1 hour, and I skipped one question. Okay, so that's how I did it. Multicast still feasible. If you see it in the blueprint, then you should expect. Yeah, as I mentioned, this is my personal preference. This is my rule. If you have your own rule to do troubleshooting, good. But this is how I did it when I did the alpha testing. You will be in the same room with other people, definitely. Okay, there is no private room for you. Do you know where to start preparation? I think you can find the information on the internet. And my last rule of troubleshooting, you need to get used with the log and debug. Okay, don't get intimidated with the debug as well. And I think debugging is a good way to learn of how it works. For example, if you run the debug for OSPF, you can see how the adjacencies comes up, as well as with BGP and so on. So you need to get used to it. Okay. And for CCIE routing switching lab, there is one advice that I can give you right now is you just need 80% to pass. You just need 80% to pass the troubleshooting section. And any remaining time from the troubleshooting section will be awarded to your configuration section. So if you get stuck in one technology and you are not familiar, I think you have access to Cisco documentation. But if you spend time reading about the technology that you are not familiar at that, and you are really in trouble, I recommend you just to skip that question. Fine, and then troubleshooting, you will gain. In your mood, something, for example, there is in the use that opportunity troubleshooting cycle documentation about IP values. Okay, you will be wasting time and you might not be able to fix it. So better for you to skip it, go to configuration.